Dollar Tree has the best metal and wood pieces to craft with. Hey Bestie, this is Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. If you want to craft your best life with me, then let's get started right now. On Pinterest, and I've always wanted to make it, so I'm going to do that today. It takes 70 of the tumbling tower blocks total. We use tacky glue and hot glue, and we're going to start with 2 rows of 8. We're going to attach them with tacky glue and hot glue on the short sides, and I'm going to do the 2 rows. There they are. I'm going to sand them down a little just to get rid of any excess glue that might have seeped through. And then I'm going to take 4 more blocks and put one on each side of, well, on one side of each of those longer pieces. This is the roof for the windmill. Now I'm going to take 6 of the little blocks and I'm going to kind of create, I guess that would be what, a hexagon? Oh my gosh, I'm not sure. Whatever 6 is. And then I'm going to stagger blocks around wherever there's like an intersection. And I'm going to use the tacky glue and the hot glue and I'm going to start gluing them together, just starting with the second row because that'll attach it. You can see what I've done there. And now I'm just going to keep going. And you can make this as tall as you want. Since I use 70 blocks, that's how many, I use for the roof and that. So I got like 4 or 5 rows, I believe it. Now we're going to attach the roof, but first we need to make 2 pieces that it can attach to. So I'm going to take my miter shears from Amazon. And by the way, all the tools that I mentioned that I have from Amazon or supplies are always down in my Amazon store, down in the description box in case you are looking for something like that. I'm going to take a pencil and just draw a quick diagonal line, use the miter shears at the angle that I need, and I'm going to just clip off that corner on 4 of the pieces. It's not really a corner, it's actually like half of an edge. And then I will hot glue 2 together so that it looks like it's pointed at the top. And of course, tacky glue. And then I'm going to add 2 more pieces to the bottom of each one because I want to make it a little bit taller. The roof just wouldn't have sat quite right. You wouldn't be able to see anything inside of it. So now I'm going to attach those 4 pieces, one to either side. I'm going to add some extra hot glue on the inside just for extra security. Then I'm going to take the tacky glue and the hot glue and I'm going to put one side of the roof on at a time and just hold it till the hot glue sets up. This tacky glue, by the way, works almost as good as wood glue, so it just makes sense, but it does dry a teeny bit faster and it makes it easier to keep working. Of course, so does the hot glue. So there it is. And I'm going to go around with the hot glue and just reinforce any seam that I'm concerned about and get rid of my glue webs. You can put a bottom in it if you want, but I decided not to. I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. I'm going to water down the top of the roof, and then I'm just going to kind of whitewash the paint. Not a light whitewash, but a little darker than that. Then I'm going to use my color Ocean and lacquer from Waverly, and I'm going to start doing red, white, and blue. I'm not going to do the inside because you're not going to see that too much. I'm going to cover the whole thing with polyurethane and put some florals. I love this one. What do you think? How much I love cutting boards. I've got this metal truck from the Dollar Tree from the Crafter's Square section and this cute cutting board from the Target Dollar Spot. And I'm going to use the side that doesn't have those little like flowers on it. I used a 150 grit sandpaper just to sand all around the entire thing. Got this Butcher Block conditioner from Amazon. I learned about this stuff from my friend Courtney at Creative on the Cheap, and what it does is it has a mineral in it that exceeds the requirements for using with food items, so you can condition your wood with this, and then it's food safe. Courtney is full of helpful tips, so I'll link her channel down below in case you're interested. So I'm going to cover every part of it. Then I'm going to go back to the metal truck, and I'm going to take out the twine at the top. I'm going to take some masking tape. I'm out of painter's tape, but honestly, masking tape works well. And I'm just going to make a little square in the middle of the back side of my truck. I don't want those lines that were on the front. And I'm going to take kind of like a stiff stippling brush with my Ocean Blue Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to start stippling a square in the upper corner of this square. And then I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to stipple all the rest of that square with the white. Then I'm going to take my lacquer paint from Waverly, and I'm going to take a smaller brush, and I'm going to stipple stripes. So basically, it's going to look like a square version of our flag. But it's so easy because you don't have to be very exact because you're stippling. And the tape will give you nice, clean edges. So once I have that on there the way that I like, then I'm going to take the other end of a small paintbrush in the white paint, and I'm just going to start putting some little dots, and I'll dry it with my heat tool. I'm not going to go for perfection on the stars. There's not 50. I'll cover the whole thing with my Mod Podge once it dries, and then I will remove remove the tape. And I know it's so satisfying. Don't you love it? And I've got this just cute little flag in the middle of my truck. You can still see it's a truck, but I didn't want to get all hung up on that. I just want it to look like a truck with a flag on the back. Now I'm going to position it on the back side of that cutting board. Once I have it where I want, I'm going to put hot glue all along the back. Now I did this on purpose. That way, if I wanted to remove it, I could and change it out for something else. And so now we're just going to take that truck, turn it around and center it again and put it flat on the cutting board. So easy. Now I've got those holes in the upper right-hand corner. So I found some really pretty silvery, glittery type stars in my stash. I took 4 of them and I put 4 on. I hot glued them on. And that took care of that. And I think it goes with that 4th of July, patriotic theme. And this was so quick and easy. You could put this together on the back of any cutting board you have. And you could do it with any piece of metal. I just used the truck because I had one. I tied the twine at the top and that's it. How cute and easy and a nice addition to my cutting board collection. Let me know what you think of this idea. DIY, I'm going to take 30 blocks total, 3 groups of 10 blocks, and then 3 stars from the Dollar Tree. I put my tacky glue and my hot glue and attach each side of 5 to each other and then the whole thing together. I'm going to do that 3 times because I'm making 3 of these squares. I'm also going to add some extra glue on the back side and just like really reinforce those seams, and then I'll just kind of rub it in with my finger. And that does come off super easy with a baby wipe. There they are, all 3 of them. This is going to be a very rustic kind of 4th of July DIY. I'm going to put some tape under each of the stars and tape them down to my paper so I can paint them without them moving around. I'm going to use the lacquer color, the Rust-Oleum linen white, and the ocean blue. And I'm going to do those same 3 colors on each of the squares. Now I am going to distress them by sanding them so I'm not too worried about the coverage. Once they're dry, I will take my sanding block and I'm just going to go around all the edges and then try to get a bunch in the center. I just really want it to look distressed. Of course, I cleaned them off. I'm going to hot glue different color stars on each one so that, of course, it's not the same color star as it is square. Really loving the way this one is already turning out. I am going to take a nail file and just dull the little stars a little bit too. Got this scrap piece of burlap. You can see I put some paint on it, but I'm going to cover that up. Just going to hot glue each one right to it. And this is going to be how they hang together. Just put a little space between each one. And yes, it did come right up off my desk easy. And I just kind of rubbed away the hot glue before it dried. I'm going to put another tumbling tower block in the center of each one because I just want to secure it just a little bit more. And also that way when it hangs, it'll have a nice way to hang on the wall. I need a place to put my little hanger. I'm going to trim the top and the bottom because it was just a little too long there. I only want a little bit of the burlap showing through. I've got a little sawtooth hanger that I got on Amazon, and that was another reason I used those tumbling tower blocks on the back. And I love how this one turned out so easy. You have to let me know if you would try something like this. Dollar Tree DIY is so easy. I've got this little corrugated piece of metal, it's a square, and this little wooden home sign from the Dollar Tree, and it's got a little red carnation. So I thought, let's make this patriotic. I'm going to take a little bit of my linen white Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and I'm going to dry brush it on the metal very lightly. So put some on my brush, dab most of it off, and then just drag it across. And there it is. You could do more or less. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the gray H, M, and E of this sign. And I'm going to do the inside and the edges as well. Very, very light dry brush. I actually ended up doing a little bit more than light, but I like the way it looks. I'm going to pull that flower off. You could use a heat tool if it's sticking really well, but it's just glued in there. Kind of straighten up that little hole so I can put it back. And I'm going to take my ocean colored Waverly chalk paint. I'm going to do a couple coats. And I'm going to do just the O on this little sign. I thought that turns it into kind of a red, white, and blue piece, even though there's gray on it, but there's also gray on the metal piece. I think that just goes really nicely together. Using an angled art brush to get into all those places so I don't make a mess, and I'm going really slow so that I don't hit any other parts of this. I'm going to dry it off with my heat tool, and then I'm going to cover the entire home's little block with some Mod Podge just to seal it in. Once that's done, I'm going to take the little flower, put some hot glue on the back, and you see it's got a stem there. It'll fit right in that hole, and literally that puts that sign back together, and now it's got that patriotic look that I love, and it's still pretty any time of year, I think. We're just going to hot glue it on the corrugated parts that face upward, because there's no point in putting it on the other ones because it won't touch the back of the sign. I kind of looked at it to see where it would touch, and I added that, and that's it. Glued it right on there. You could use E6000 with this just to make sure it'll stay. I'm not too worried about it, but it's definitely an option, and it will definitely hold it there. Love how it turned out. You'll have to let me know what you think. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye!